Here I am in Cross Forks, PA, following up on reports that heard through podcasts over the years of Cross Forks being the statistically most remote part of Pennsylvania, and it's embedded deep within the Sasquatch State Forest. So hopefully today I'll find something. All right, so we're gonna make our way down to the Cross Fork Creek down here. It's usual fishing spot for most people, but for me, it's a potential Bigfoot area. It's gotten much colder these days, and going to a more rural place like this really wants to put you on your toes for knowing where and when to go to places, you know? Brought a bear spray this time. Hopefully that will be a measure of things. Oh my. This cliff here. Stop. I don't know if I want to walk down that trail. Beautiful area though. Yeah, this is kind of a steep ravine here. I don't know. This area really speaks for itself. It really does. All right, so we're actually gonna head more up the hill here. These creatures are commonly known as ridge walkers, so hopefully maybe rather than I wonder with this stick if I might be able to make it down to the creek. I was watching a hiking video about the Great Divide in Canada. I guess I always scoff the people with those poles, but I know when I'm ordering from Amazon when I get back, because it makes all the difference in terms of being able to scale or not scale something. This is one of the more vertical paths I've ever taken before. But with my trusty walking stick, hopefully I'll be able to slowly but surely make it down this path. I guess I'm trying to follow this as like a switchback rather than trying to go directly straight down, because that would not be very smart. These creatures are often seen by the water. Like all living creatures, they need H2O. This is definitely a little sketchy, but I think I can just find my trusty stick here. Good thing it's gotten colder now these days, because you really don't have to worry about snakes, which are actually a problem, which is insane in Pennsylvania. But yes, there are snakes, which is insane. But here we are at the Cross Creek edge. Beautiful, unspoiled creek, I guess. Soon enough, it'll be cold, and this will all be frozen. May not find Bigfoot, but sure found some beauty in nature today. And hopefully not any bears. But yeah, this area is just really, really remote. Really remote. And there's just nobody, except for hunters. Not sure if they're hunting bear or if they're hunting deer, but because fall's hunting season, right? I wonder if I can go back an easier way. This is the little cliff I traversed here. So try and find a better, more level area. But they always say going up is, coming down is actually harder than going up, which makes a lot of sense. Probably be looking for footprints, but see anything? Especially with all this leaf litter now, it's so difficult to see anything. But, you know, you gotta try. Nice and easy. Just like the hair coloring for men. All right, so we're gonna make our way up one of these hills because they are known as ridge walkers. And maybe during the daytime, they just want to check out the rivers and such, but not today. All right, here we go. Temperature's a little, you know, a little frigid in the upper 40s, low 50s. So it's still manageable. We're not quite at the freezing point, which is always makes anything more difficult. This may end up just being a one-shot video, because it is. See all these like ground ferns? It's like Jurassic Park around here. So in Pennsylvania, a lot of land was reclaimed by the state after logging companies came in and took a lot of the land for forestry. And then once they forested it, it is like not here around the year 1900. They found that the state could actually get the land back from these logging companies cheap, because they weren't going to do anything with it. So here's the road, across Fork Creek Road. But yeah, this is all state game land. All state game land. Now I just have to find a proper place to try and scale this little mountain that's here. Just want to see if I'm capable of doing it. See that in the winter's a great time to hike, because your body has two types of fat. Brown fat and white fat. And the white fat is just the kind of that fat you get from just sitting there eating potato chips. And then the brown fat it's more like we're born with it, and it's kind of the good fat. And it when our muscles are a little bit more toned, we only have more of the brown fat, which is a lot easier to burn. All right, so here we go. Into the wilds. Yep. Before a gentleman was camping up through here and came across, felt as though he was escorted out of these woods by, he's not sure what, but he had a tent that he placed up here, because this is state forest land, and I think he just set up tent and then but when he came back, his tent was actually destroyed. So he said it wasn't torn apart or anything. It was just like thrown, which is kind of weird. I mean, who knows? Like, could have been just some homeless person living on the mountain or whatever. But the second night, after he had fixed the tent, he was escorted off the mountain by something that was throwing stones at him. So, in my opinion, I think they're called ridge walkers, and I really think that they're at the top of these mountains, like somewhere. All right. I'm gonna do a obligatory wood knock, which maybe I'm kind of against, but I have a wood stick in my hand, and that's kind of coercing me. really does travel, that sound. Hunter's probably just thinking of another hunter. But I don't know, maybe they kind of disappeared during this time of year. All these hunters are out with guns, but who knows? I guess a lesson learned from today's trip is I think I'm going to try and stick to more state parks, more established trails, because this is a very rural setting, and if I really don't want to get lost off the trail. Really beautiful spot though, between the creek and the mountain. It's really unique. I think the creek is just it's a offshoot of the Susquehanna River, and I always try and listen for the birds, because the birds are more aware of what's going on than I am. If something's stirring them, then who knows what it is. Yeah, look at these. Some of these mountains. God. I think I'm just gonna maybe yo-yo this trail. Oh boy, wow, look at that ravine. Jeez Louise. God. I hope that's coming up on camera. Good thing I didn't find a place that steep, right? Everybody seems really friendly around here. All the hunters I've bumped into. Like there's that common bond of you got to be a little bit crazy to come out here to begin with. yeah, I'm sticking to the road because this is not the place to be lost. A lot of times people feel like they're being paced in the road when they come across one of these, whatever they are. But I really think I'm going to try and keep it to just maybe more state parks and that type of thing, more trail-oriented things, because you look across this valley here. I mean, these are what, 34,000 feet in elevation, these mountains. Huge. Who knows what's up there? And PA might not have the grandiose mountains of the Cascades, but I mean, quantitatively, the Appalachians are a very, very long trail, a very long mountain range. So, gosh, look at that. I'm gonna try not to do wood knocks. I feel like that's really beneath me. But like I said, if you got a wood stick in your hand, you might as well bang a tree, right? Man, look at these ravines here. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, number one rule of my channel is safety, and anytime you have to be conservative about safety. It's the one thing you have to be conservative about in life. You know, like, if you don't have your health, you don't have your wealth. Gosh, look at these old trees. Probably not even that. This might just be a second growth forest. That's why I think you know, Pennsylvania has so much potential for this because, like, I mean, sure, you have farmland in the valleys, but it's surrounded by an ocean of mountains. You know? Ocean. It's crazy, even driving up here, the state route that I took, 120, like there's just nobody on it. Like just this is so rural, this area. Here's a little bit of a trail here. Hammersley Wild Area. I think I saw this on the map. Looks like a little bit of a trail here. Let's follow this. Hammersley Wild Area. Motorized vehicles prohibited. Oh, this is weird. Gotta see all this. Looked like there was a trail, but all these trees are in front of it. Weird. They just get deathly quiet. You know, I don't even know if that's a trail up there anymore. Weird. I'm gonna stick to the road on this one. Maybe because I'm further away from the creek, got like a little bit more quiet. But that's always a telltale sign of things. The calm before the storm, you always say. There might be a trail up there, but I don't know. Yeah, Bigfoots have been known to throw trees down in front of you know, human trails out of frustration and anger, and maybe that was just another case of that, you know. First Volvo I've seen in a while. a lot of pickup trucks around here. This is not a good road for driving a sedan. That is so bizarre. How that trail just kind of fizzled out. Hammersley Wild Area. Like I said, I think I saw that on the map. yeah, I don't know. Maybe the north half of PA just doesn't get the credit it's due, right? It's such a remote area sometimes. It's crazy. Just some of the vistas. It's really really beautiful area. Just that I feel like maybe it's not getting the credit where the credit's due. Starting to see some civilization down here. Or some kind of shanties and shacks and so on. More worried about man than I am about Bigfoot. Absolutely beautiful area. I think the Cross Fork Creek comes off the western branch of the Susquehanna River. So that's, oh, look at that. Yeah, I think we're gonna turn around. My spidey sense kicked in. I don't know why. That was kind of weird. A lot of times in these videos, people talk about mind speak and all that type of stuff, but my belief is just it's like a subconscious reaction to a really stressful event, and people say that they're hearing voices in their, like head whenever they're, sometimes if they come across these things. I just think it's just like a psychological reaction to a traumatic event. Sometimes you don't want to explain a riddle with another riddle, and I think that's what can really happen if you kind of get lost in those thoughts, I'll never understand how Bigfoot, UFOs, all that stuff gets grouped together, For me, this is just kind of like a inquiry into if there's a real species out there. Because God knows this is a career killing subject for legitimate scientists, So it just takes amateur people like me to just get out there, see if, kind of follow the reports, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what I always think. A lot more bird activity over here. Hey, Mr. Bird. You're real. Know that. Even if I don't find Bigfoot, At least I'll find some real natural species, which is, look at this ravine though, it's so wild. I learned my lesson driving up here. A lot of times the best way to look for Bigfoot is just kind of scan the ridge, and boy, did I almost drive off the road. I didn't have the camera rolling, you know. You're gonna go off the road. You gotta get that content, you know. Don't do that. No one ever do that. This is it's called yo-yoing a trail. So you go up, you come back. Look at that view though. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, do these creatures, what do they do? Do they kind of go south for the winter, kind of? Do they just follow the ridges of the mountains, or do they, yeah, there's been stories of them following the power lines. They'll follow power lines. Yeah, I don't know. People talk about howling and things like that, but I really think these things can absolutely distinguish our voices compared to, here's that ravine again I love. I think they can distinguish between our voice and, you know, their own species' voice. Mainly because our lungs are about, you know, I would think a third. These things weigh a quarter of what their lung capacity is. So that say? Catch and release. Fishing can be done with artificial lures only. Huh. Yeah, just guppies. Guppies in that creek. There's the old Equinox. I may have driven pretty far past actually where the reported sighting was, but so we'll make our way past the car. Is that a chipmunk? This is a lot more level terrain, I'll tell you that. See if there's any upside down trees putting them out in here. I always like to think what these hunters are thinking when they see me just walking around with a camera facing the mountain. There we go. Switch hands here. just want to take another video just showing the real expansiveness of this area. Here I am off of 120, a little bit closer to Lock Haven, south of Heiner Run State Park, and just really shows you that this area is unbelievable.